Hey guys, this is Waldog. Uh, I am completely shook right now. Maybe not completely, but I'm pretty shook. I woke up from a dream. This is one of the most uh, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was like very immersive, uh, and there was a lot to it. Uh, it was a complex, like dream scenario. Uh, and there's a lot of people I knew interacting with me, building a relationship with me, and communicating with me in different ways, and people I haven't seen, even some people I haven't seen since I was young, and familiar faces. And but there's one thing in particular, two things. There's like 12 things in this stream, but of which, um, and I don't really want to go into details too much, but because I'm it's just how I feel. Uh, there was let me say this because I think it's funny. So there was another vampire there, and of course the the situation. I'll describe it. Um, I was it was at a like a club, and I'm gonna try not to get too much in details, but I was with with a date with a girl, and at the end of the night, it was like we were kissing or whatever, and I look over and there's the vampire, and I could kind of recognize by some of the features of this person. I didn't really. I looked once, and then me and this girl are making out. And I look back over, and the guy was transformed into a vampire transformation, and it didn't really bother me. It bothered me a little bit, but like not really. But it's funny to say that, and like they started singing, which was really interesting, which is also very vampire-y in a way. The girl I was with, because we stopped kissing. I was trying to read the situation. No, it wasn't like it wasn't so much that I was uncomfortable, but I was just like, okay, try to understand, trying to analyze in the stream, and the girl, she was singing, and I was like, oh, you know. And then the vampire guy started singing along a little bit, and then I'm just kind of analyzing, and she's singing, and then the vampire stopped singing, and another thing, I I don't know how to say I don't know how to say this, but uh, the night was almost over. The place was closing. We were still there, and we're leaving or whatever. Or before we started leaving, me and this girl I was with. I look over, and I saw a person that I didn't quite recognize, but looked somewhat familiar. A female, and she's with another guy or whatever, and they're being sexual, but that's not the thing. It's that I looked over, and this is the thing that probably bothered me the most of the dream, is that she looked over, but she looked and just to check I was looking, and of course I look away, I see them together, and I'm like, okay, I look away, and I look back up, and she's looking at me with a very particular type of eyes, and it's the kind of eyes that freak me out, or used to freak me out, because I didn't understand what they meant. But she was looking at me with eyes that told me that she follows me, and I was shocked. I remember I looked away again, and because it brought to my attention in the dream a suspicion, and the suspicion was not that this was a dream. This is one of those dreams in which I believe it's reality, and I'm treating it like it's reality. It's one of those dreams. It's the suspicion that I'm being set up, but not set up in a way that is like in some way, me being put into danger, but realizing that the people that I was surrounded by, or some of the people that were at the location, not only knew who I was, but they followed me, and I say it that way. Followed me as a spiritual leader, as a and I don't know. I want to talk about that feeling though, like going to a location. Let's say in public. Imagine this: like you're going somewhere, and you're at some place, and you're there for a few hours, and it's whatever. Just like any other place, you've been in the public for a few hours, and then at the end of the night or whatever, people change. But like, I'm talking specifically about people revealing themselves. They're just like, oh yeah, we've been totally acting. We've been totally acting for the last like 4 or 5 hours, and you bought it. And but yeah, we're totally looking after you, and yeah, it's totally fine. But we can see that you're in shock right now, and that you feel like you're yeah, I would have. That's exactly how I would have acted. I'm like, look, okay, I've been through this. This is me just talking. I'm like, I've been in this situation so many times, and every time I'm like in shock. But I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand. I understand why people do it. I also understand, you know, from a learning experience for myself, that typically when that is happening, um, it's because I need to learn something, or it's usually like I want to, this is probably not the most healthy thing to say, but there's something wrong with me, and that they're pointing it out. They're like, and that's basically what this stream was really specifically pointing out to me. And I'm like, I know. I'm glad you guys are helping me. I'm glad that you know I don't like that feeling. I don't think I'm supposed to like it. It's like, I know that this is probably not the proper way to say it, and I know I should be more delicate with how I say it, but it's like I just feel like I've got brain damage, basically. I don't think it's that. It's not that. I hope it's not that. I don't know. Maybe. But it's like when people are like, "Hey, dude, yeah, you got. We're being gentle with you because you're clearly." But I know it's more complicated than that. It's not. That's the feeling, and I'm just like feeling bad. I'm just like, oh, yeah, I know. And but yeah, I just want to talk about that. I want to talk about the dream, and I am definitely. I'm feeling. I'm doing a status check on myself, and it's just like. just, wait, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but have you ever done a status check on yourself and your only response is like laughing at yourself? Like, what's your current status of how you feel? Well, and then you like look inside and you're just like, well, just start laughing. And that is my current status. But one thing I want to point out at the end of this stream, the girl I was with, and we were riding scooters together. We had I had my scooter, but she had a really nice scooter, like a $2,000 scooter. And I was like, we can't leave these. Like we gotta bring them. And she's looking at me. Everybody's looking at me like I'm a complete idiot. And then I'm like, no, we gotta get the scooters. And like nobody at that point, like there was talking and stuff. There's a lot of talking, and it's just like real world. But at this point, nobody was talking. They were looking at me, and they all knew that I didn't know the truth, or I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, no, we can't leave these here. And I pick up my scooter, or I pick up her scooter first, and then I go back to pick up my scooter, and one of the women who worked there, she's carrying my scooter to me, and I'm like, oh, I didn't say anything, just appreciative. And then as she's gone to hand me the scooter, she gives me those eyes, those follower eyes, and then she grabs me by the arm quickly as a sign of trust, And then she hands me the scooter, and I grab the scooter, and I look away. And as I go back out, the girl I was with, she had her $2,000 scooter for whatever reason. At that point, I was thinking that it was my scooter. And even in the dream, I was questioning that because I never, couldn't afford that. But anyways, so okay, like bear with me. She's putting the scooter in like a. I don't want to give too many details or information, but regardless, she's putting a scooter in a place within this building that was like in a. You ever see there's. How do I say this? I'm having difficulty. I'm having a hard time right now, you guys. But it was like emergency exit with a door. There's a door, and there's like, like a stairwell and emergency exit. But she opened the first door, and she had her scooter. There's the scooter, and there was some stuff. It looked like band equipment. So I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's my scooter. That's my stuff. That's my band equipment. And she's kneeling over it, and she turns around, and she looks at me, and I'm talking to her. I'm like, come on, we gotta go. Like that stuff gets stolen. We can't just leave that here. And she looks at me, and she gives me like some sad eyes, and then she gives a head nod, like she nods her head, And then I remember I started getting frustrated because it's like the nights over the building's closing, people are waiting on us, and I'm thinking like it's like a big thing, right? When clearly like I'm not reading this situation at all. Not I'm a fool. I'm like, what are you doing? Right, I remember the tone and volume was like, what are you doing? Like I'm being like with a very honest as I was speaking to her, and she gives that head nod, right? And I wake up from the dream, and I'm physically saying, "What are you doing?" And I'm in my room, and that's how I woke up. I'm like, oh man. So that was one of the best dreams I've ever had. Like the whole thing. There's more to it, and the all of that. Uh, but yeah, I'm back. I'm back in. I'm still like going under, like mentally, like struggling. But it's like 4:30 in the morning. I know that doesn't really matter at all, but I'm just like, I guess I'm just gonna go back to sleep. So, anyways, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for letting me vent and talk about it. Okay, bye.